Okay, we are live for our Gilded Autumn stamp class this morning. It may take a little bit for it to pop up in news feeds. I know there's at least a couple of you that will be joining us live this morning, and then a couple that will be watching the replay. So either way, we're glad you're here. Good morning, Judy. We're going to be making some fall projects today with the absolutely amazing Gilded Autumn suite of products. So very excited to have you here. Excited to share some creativity with you this morning. Y'all know that we generally have a train come through, and we have not had one this morning that we've heard, so should be due for one anytime now. We'll see. I'll apologize in advance for those. I hear an airplane out there this morning. That's unusual. Good morning, Donna.
Judy saying she wish she'd have ordered that suite.
Oh, well, you still have time to get that in and create some projects with it. It really is just fabulous paper. Anytime it's a specialty paper with the foiling, it's fabulous. And this one has the copper and gold. Some of the paper has copper foiling, some has gold, and some has a combination. So we'll look at the paper in just a minute. Okay, looks like we've got a couple that have joined, so let's go ahead and get started. Because first I want to really introduce you to this suite of products. Like I said, it's the Gilded Autumn, so let me bring our mini catalog in here. And we are looking at page 44 with tons of samples. Really, really pretty. Some of these are a little bit more complex projects and some are very straightforward. I recreated this card for a recent team swap and it turned out really pretty. And then on the other side, on page 45, we've got the suite. And I actually do not have this ribbon combo pack. When I got ready to design projects for this class, I couldn't find my ribbon, and I realized that I gave it as a prize to someone. So whoever has the ribbon, I hope you're enjoying it. It looks really, really pretty, and I remember it being pretty, but I sure did think I had it. The colors that we're going to be using today are mint macaron, Cajun craze, crumb cake, and early espresso. Now I do have the other components of the suite, so let me show you those. First up, we've got the beautiful autumn stamp set. And there's a couple of these stamps that are a two-step stamp. So you do the line image and then kind of fill in the color if you want to. You don't have to though. Y'all know that I'm a sucker for beautiful fonts, and this one definitely has just really pretty fonts. So we're going to be using most of the sentiments today. There's also some little acorn trinkets, and let me see if I can bring one up close to the camera where you can see it. They're very, very pretty. Now, I will say they're a little bit difficult to use on cards because as far as mailing, so this is something you'd want to maybe use on a 3D project. I'll show you an example of how we used them for a team meeting, I think a couple months ago. But those are not really conducive to mailing cards, but they can be used in other ways. They're really pretty. There's also a combination punch pack, and you can get the stamp set and the punches as a bundle and save 10%. I love these little, they're not really the mini punches, they're kind of the medium size. So you've got the acorn, oak leaf, and maple leaf. Bring those a little bit closer too. And we'll be using those today. They coordinate with the stamp set, but then they also coordinate with some of the designer series paper as well. So let's talk about this paper, you guys. It is really, really pretty. So there I'm showing why it's called a specialty designer series paper with that foiling. Love the houndstooth. That's one that has the gold and silver. You've also got very vanilla here, but we're using some Whisper White as well. Either way, it pairs well with the paper. So some of it's shiny and pretty, and some of it's very autumn, that pumpkin paper. Oh, it's fabulous. Oh my goodness, we have a joke in our family. If you say go ahead, Dale's brother says, don't call me a gourd head. So Dale was chuckling over there because there's some pumpkins and gourds on that paper. Our family is rather silly, huh? So that's the beautiful paper we're going to be using today. Welcome to my world, huh? And to start off with, our first project is going to be a little 4x4 card. And the sentiment is Hey There that we're using. And it's almost like a little mini sampler just to show off some of the product, that paper especially. So here's where you actually are able to punch out the acorn and leaf with the punches from the designer series paper. So this is a pretty simple little card. It's going to come together really quickly. Everybody coming in?
Yeah, I got Lisa and Madonna.
Hi, Lisa and LD. Glad y'all are here. So this is just a little 4x8 card base from Whisper White. And as usual, we will do a PDF, but as usual, I did not get that done before class. Morning, Baby Ruth. And then this is one of the, I think, really cute pieces of the designer series paper. And of course, you could really go either way with the designer series paper. That's one of the hardest things, is deciding which side to adhere down, right? So we're just going to line this up. And I will share those measurements in the PDF. But I know that y'all know math is hard, especially, well, it's not super early in the morning, but early in the morning. And I know that it was like, what, about 3 7/8?
Yes.
That Cajun Craze layer that we're putting the designer series paper on. And it's a very small border. Probably wouldn't even have to do that if you didn't want to. So I know LaDonna has been up early, and she's already been crafting this morning. I did go ahead and post the mystery stamping thread. Of course, we'll do our mystery stamping after the last video. So directly following the 11 o'clock demonstration, we'll do mystery stamping. That post has been up a couple days, so if you don't have your supplies ready for mystery stamping, you'll have some time in between videos to get those ready. We'd love to have you join us for that. And today, I've already announced, we're going to be giving away the classic label punch, and I'll be sharing that with you here in just a minute. So we have, before I do that, do I have some linen thread there, Dale? Yes. Dale's here watching comments for me, by the way. Oh, that was just a disaster. I just came off the end of my linen thread instead of finding the end. That ever happened to y'all? And we may have to grab a different... Yeah, that's a mess. And of course I need that right away. Will you grab that other roll, Dee? That's I've done that a couple times now, where I slid a bit of the linen thread off the edge versus actually catching the end. So crisis averted. He'll work on that for me, and we can keep going. So I'm just going to take a little piece of Scotch tape, kind of a little bit of a cheater method here. Oh, I already glued that down. Oh my goodness. We're off to a flying start this morning. Well, this one's not going to have linen thread. So I already glued that down. Oh well. A little bit different version. I know I'm not the only one that's ever done that right. I've done that a couple times lately though. Okay, let's just go ahead and start putting our pieces on. So I kind of laid it out last night when I was getting things ready. Of course, we want to pop up these little elements, and we did use the stitched shapes dies, which I know a lot of you own those because it's probably one of the dies that I recommend the very most. Let's see. Let's go ahead and put, I guess, this one. So, well, it doesn't matter that I messed that linen thread up, does it?
You got a bunch of people joined you.
Oh, good.
Cassandra and Joanne.
Good morning, guys. Oh, this one actually does have a gourd on this piece. Really pretty. I've found in using the paper that has the pumpkins and gourds, I tend to just leave that pretty plain. It's just so pretty, just like it is, so. So at this point, just kind of assembling here. Dale's still working on my mess with my thread. Let's see. And we can pop those up too. Hope y'all will say hi to each other. And I'm glad everybody's here this morning.
Judy said that was no mistake because she likes making the cards all different.
Oh, she does? Okay, we'll just say we did that on purpose, right, Judy? Even though I didn't. I really like using linen thread when I'm doing projects, fall projects. I'm looking for my Take Your Pick tool. Thought I had it out, maybe not. We may just have to take these dimensional backs. There it is. Thank you, Bill. Yeah, you know, stuff happens when you're crafting, right? Doesn't always turn out exactly like you wanted it to. Sometimes it's even better. I'll put one more dimensional there, and we'll get this assembled. So I'm going to come down here with this guy. Do y'all ever make cards that are a little bit different size? I'm going to just use a regular envelope, a regular medium envelope with this, but you could make your own envelope as well. I've made a couple of the little 4x4 cards lately. It's just something a little bit different. Let's see, let's get this gourd up here. It's nice and cool today. It actually feels like fall for our fall class. We're just going to put this one kind of at an angle with this little design. And I need him up just a little bit so that I have room for my sentiment here in a minute. And then we'll put this last one down. Just love showing off this designer series paper. It's so very pretty. I need to move this guy over just a little bit. Well, I may have lost my acorn. No, there he is. So we're going to use some mini dimensionals on our acorn and leaf. I love that we've got both sizes. I'm probably just going to use my nail to get that off. Let's bring our little acorn down here. And our leaf up here. Might put that one a little bit differently. That leaf paper. I think it's okay without the linen thread. What do you think, Judy? So let's do a little bit of stamping. I think my ink pad is in that other bin. And we do need to bring in the piercing mat for the stamping, because it is a photopolymer stamp set. And I'm using the Early Espresso ink this morning. I think on all of the projects we ended up using Early Espresso. Found a little scrap of cardstock here. And we'll stamp our hey there. Oops. Close that ink pad so I don't have a disaster. And let me grab this punch. So this is the classic label punch that I'll be giving away today. Well, not today, but we'll be giving away Tuesday to a lucky winner. I love this punch, and I think you will too.
Joanne says she loved the paper so much she ordered it twice.
Did you really? Did you do that on purpose, Joanne?
Of course she did.
So let me see. I struggled with this a little bit last night. As you can see, when this is punched out, it's a little bit longer than what we need on our card and with the sentiment that we have. So you can actually kind of tuck this back in. I can make it work for y'all. I struggled with this last night. There we go. It's really not that hard. It's me, not the punch. So we're just going to line that back up in there and snip that little piece off so that it's real tight there on the sentiment. So that's...
Joanne says definitely yes, it was on purpose.
Oh, it was on purpose. Okay, well, because I know that sometimes I have ordered stuff twice. I may be the only one, though, that ever does that. Ha-ha. I don't think so. Sometimes LaDonna and I trade things because somehow we ended up with two of them. All right, let's get our little sentiment there. And again, I may have to move that guy up a bit. Let that dry for a minute. And we're done, you guys. This little project is done. I think we'll go ahead and decorate an envelope. So there's our card without linen thread, but it still looks cute. Whoever gets this one, unless it's one of y'all, they'll never know there should have been linen thread. And then, of course, we want to decorate our envelope, and I've got this pretty piece, just a little scrap. And, of course, since all of the paper coordinates, we don't have to worry. Even though it's a scrap and it's not exactly what I'm using for the project, we can still decorate the envelope with it. Just put a little bit of glue there. And I'll be able to line that up and just snip the end off. I also posted our virtual swap thread already this morning, so if you are crafting, I know LaDonna got up early and she's already been crafting. She posted something called Craftnado. So I think that's a crafting tornado. So she's already been at it this morning. If you've been crafting last few days and you want to share a project with us, we would love to see it. So be sure and post that on that thread. Love it when y'all share.
You'd need the full tornado after I craft.
Okay, let's bring the one in that has the linen thread. And there is our project, our first one this morning. We're doing good,
She
y'all.
loves the card.
Oh, good.
Cassandra says you're not the only one that's ordered something twice.
I hear you, Cassandra. But that's okay when you have crafty friends that you can kind of switch with and trade with. So, and actually, I think that the punch that we're giving away today, Cassandra donated in for a prize. So, thank you, Cassandra. Give a shout out to Cassandra. So generous. We appreciate you. So that is it for our first project. You can see, I hope already, why I absolutely love this suite. Such beautiful, beautiful paper. It doesn't have to be complicated. And actually, I think it's best if your projects are a little bit more straightforward when you're using paper that's just so fancy and so special. So we will be back.
Did you want to show this to me?
Oh, we can. Yeah, Dale was going to grab something right quick that we used in our team meeting. I think this has been a couple months ago. This is like a little gratitude box. And it's actually where we were able to use the acorn. So the other thing I didn't talk about, there's some brushed metallic paper in this suite. And you'll see us use just a very small piece of it in a little bit on the second card. But there's some brushed metallic paper. It's 12 by 12. And it really does have a different look to it than the regular foil paper in gold and copper. It's very pretty. So you'll see it later. But this little gratitude box was one of our make and takes for team meeting. So inside we have some, oops, that's the mini paper pumpkin box. So inside we have some of the note cards. And again, just pretty straightforward little projects just to really show off the designer series paper. And like I said, the sentiments in this stamp set are lovely. That's just a fun one where we actually punched out the leaves and acorn. So these all very straightforward, but they really are pretty. This one we actually used the, I think it's called Evergreen embossing folder, right? I think so.
I think so.
So it may not pick up super well on camera, but it's really pretty just to have that embossed in the background. And here, just using the linen thread, it's a very simple embellishment to use with your fall projects. And then one last little note card. Just really showing off that designer series paper. Okay. Well, if you haven't worked on your mystery stamping supplies, you'll have a little bit of time to do that, or go grab that second cup of coffee. And we will be back at 10 o'clock with the second project. And until then, y'all do a little bit of crafting this morning. We'll see you back soon.